The black, colored, or Negroes of America have been through a roller coaster of hate and violence from the very beginning of colonization of the New World since 1492. The conqueror and the conquered. To keep the conquered conquered and to act accordingly, laws and rules had to be put in place. Teaching the conquered how to live in a new world required putting policies, schools, and laws into effect that would control black people from fleeing the bondage of the New World during the time of slavery. These laws, including the Jim Crow laws, would effectively police black people from advancing in this new jail that we know as the United States Corporation of America. It is recorded, often photographed, by the same media we watch today. Mobs of white men, women, and even children surrounding some of the thousands of black people that were hanged from trees and bridges and even burned to death. Beating and lynching of melanated people of the Americas was something that white men and women who were often politicians had no repercussion for, just as today. Inhumane actions taken against defenseless melanated people whose only fault was to have been born melanated, or as we were renamed, black. Moreover, the Fraternal Police Order is the oldest and biggest gang in America and an organization founded by corruption, haughtiness, ignorance, arrogance, and racism. White supremacy exists in the Fraternal Police Order and to this day live under the same pyramid of systematic racism as their founding organization, the Slave Patrol. The foundation of America's establishment took several years of exploration by many different explorers, long before Christopher Columbus. Sea pirates and mentally insane prisoners were commissioned to come to the New World. What that meant for black people and colored people during that time was nothing short of fear and horror, sadly much like today. The conquering of indigenous lands all around the world has been looked over and ignored by neo-generations of the world. Not only in America were black people lynched and murdered, but black people all over the world have been brutally murdered or treated unfairly by colonizers in their own indigenous lands that was once theirs, now stolen and forgotten. The Aboriginals of Australia are just one of the countless examples. From 1905 to the late 1970s, Aboriginal children were stolen from their families by the Australian government and missionaries, placed in boarding schools to be taught only by the colonizers, whom of course were white. They call this day in Australia the National Sorry Day. This day is reserved to apologize for the taking of the Aboriginal children. Similar to America's problems with the police, Australian Aborigines are also racially profiled and commonly wind up murdered while in police custody. Furthermore, indigenous Africans have been kicked out their own land and faced apartheid due to colonization. Neo-black people of America are also generations being taught a non-indigenous education by only white colonizers and their descendants. Well, because black people are now stuck in the New World with no way out. The Slave Patrol was founded in 1704 in South Carolina and like a wildfire quickly spread throughout the southern states, eventually making its way to the northern states where many black people were running to, longing to find freedom and to escape the South's inhumane treatment. To ensure the installation of inferiority, along with the Slave Patrol, was the Negro Act of 1705 and 1740. Under this statute, which remained lawful for almost a century, black people could not grow their own foods, earn their own money, move around freely with other black people, roam without a pass or proper identification, comparable to what we call today a driver's license or ID card. The Boston Police is the first police force in America, founded in 1630, which first started off as an all-white group of night watchers that protected rich white men's properties. By 1838, the Boston law enforcement now had day watchers to police black people who were trying to flee from slavery and this new world. By 1854, the day and night watchers became the Boston Police Department. It wasn't until 1865 that slavery got abolished. The police, sheriffs, and deputies have always played a part in the killings of black people for hundreds of years, and nothing has changed. Why are black people of this era so shocked of the mistreatment of melanated people in America by the police? Where do black people go from here? Unfortunately, the plan was to create a new world order from the very beginning of the creation of the evil United States of America. Furthermore, black people of then and now have always easily accepted what the colonizers have taught. For instance, the word black. The word black is just a stigma of slavery, a word created by racists, one being Johannes Blumenbach, a racist German anthropologist whom America calls the father of anthropology. He came up with the 5 divisions of the races. He thought white people were superior, perfect, and mindsets continue to remain in this way. The word black is hardly worth any honor. When the African American, Negro, or black people can find the inner strength to defy their years of conditioning and refuse to be a disciple of conformity, he will recognize what the colonizers planned against melanated people all over this world for what it is: a stigma of slavery, mental and physical control. Now in 2018, melanated people still terrified for their lives by the demonic police and the New World Order government. Melanated people, it's time to wake up.